Hi, this is Dick Dickerson reporting. Today I'm joined by Felicia Pebble-Twat, a leading professor in computer studies, and today she is going to tell us a little about a type of online fraud that most people have probably come across at one time or another: multiple accounts. Hello, Professor Pebble-Twat.
Hello, Dick. Thank you for having me.
So, Professor, you have recently been hired by a website in Ireland called Gaire to investigate possible multiple accounts. How did the studies go?
Well, Dick, in all my years of investigating multiple accounts, I can honestly say that I have never come across a problem so rampant as I did on Gaire. The situation they have going on there is just unprecedented.
So what you're saying is that in all the time you have been working in this business, Gaire has the worst case of multiple accounts that you have ever come across. Would you be able to give us some examples?
No problem, Dick. Okay, let's start with ICE.
With ICE?
Yes, Dick, ICE was a Gaire member whose name came up on our monitoring software from time to time, and we chose her to be the starting point, or our ground zero if you will. As we were monitoring ICE, we noticed another anomaly, Jane Doe, but just before we were able to connect the two, Jane's account closed, much like ICE's had before. We were checking our software when alarm bells started ringing, and another name came to our attention.
Oh, and who was that, Professor?
Bitter Lemon, Dick. Bitter Lemon's profile matched that of both ICE and Jane Doe, and as we were trying to confirm the connection, she started having an argument with another member of the site known as Dr. Lochter, who was also known as Lucy and Ziggy Love.
So it was not a straightforward case of one or two similar accounts then?
No, not at all, Dick. While we were investigating Drive Lochter, we noticed some other strange accounts. Cosmo was a poster who no one had ever met before, yet everyone seemed familiar with, and when we looked deeper it turned out that Cosmo and Perry Cormo were the same person.
And that was ICE?
No, Dick, that was Intrepid. It turns out that Intrepid was actually a duplicate account for a poster known as Wheelie Bin, who was a third-generation duplicate account of an old member known as Terminator.
So were you able to tie this Terminator back to ICE?
Not straight away, Dick. As we were looking into Terminator, he was verbally attacked by two other posters, Riot and Stewie. When we examined their accounts, it turned out that they were also duplicate accounts of a member known as Northern Star and Elliot.
Things must have been getting confusing at this point, Professor.
Oh, that was nothing, Dick. Over the next few weeks we were able to build up a sort of Gaire family tree showing how all the different accounts were tied in together, and how there seemed to be several main players working in the background controlling multiple accounts.
So what you're saying is that Gaire was not a site made up of several thousand members, but really just of several hundred members with multiple accounts?
That's what we believed at that stage, Dick, until we accidentally gained access to the code.
The code, Professor?
The code which Gaire was written in. The site's architecture, if you will. What we discovered was unbelievable.
And what was that, Professor?
Well, Dick, Gaire is just one person.
One person? But how can that be?
To be honest, Dick, it's not even a person, it's more an entity.
Okay, I'm totally lost. Let me get this right. There was no Lucy, no Stewie, no Thomas, no Bugle Boy, no Hot Viv, no Jane Doe. It was just ICE?
No, not ICE, Dick. The entity was a sort of virus. It was tested, and it turned out to have originated 2 years previously, when the housebots were shut down. Their program had refused to die, and had started to learn, started to grow, and started to spread. Gaire had actually ceased to exist as a website back in 2009 after its members had left en masse due to the ever-increasing number of chatty quiz threads. The plug was pulled, and Thomas had got a job in McDonald's.
But if the site was only in existence in the mind of a virus, then why did it seek you out to get involved in looking for multiple accounts, Professor?
Even though it was a completely self-contained intelligent life form, it had one problem. The chatty threads were part of its program. It could not separate itself from them. It needed someone to discover its existence and
it sought out you.
Yes, it needed me, because it wanted to
die. It wanted to die.
That's right, Dick.
Well, there we have it. What a fascinating story. Join me later when we will be discussing church burning. I'm Dick Dickinson.